Okay, next up, read a blob object. Your task. In this challenge, we'll deal with 3 get objects, blobs, trees, commits. Let's start with blobs, which represent files, binary data to be precise. Okay. So, binary stuff. In this stage, you'll read a blob from your Git repository by fetching its contents from the Git objects directory. So, we fetch first. You'll do this by using the first of multiple plumbing commands we'll encounter in this challenge. So the git cat file. Your program will be called like so. Okay, so we'll do this -p blob sha. So I don't know if I've ever used a p command. The other thing that I'm excited about this is like learning git stuff. I don't know if I opened that one either. Let's do that. Oh, I handed a SHA? It is expected to print out the binary data that the blob contains. In many programming languages, the default print function, like format print line, will append a new line to the output. The output of cat file must not contain a new line at the end. So you might need to use a different function to print the output. Keep in mind that Git uses zlib to compress objects. You can use the flate to crate to read these compressed files. We've included it in the cargo.toml file, so it's already there for us. Okay, so how to pass this stage? Welcome to stage 2. Unlike stage 1, they don't give us any, code for this. You'll be writing your own. Don't worry, this stage should be pretty easy. Almost everyone who attempts it passes it. We recommend taking a look at the code examples tab. So they do have code examples, which I think is from other developers who have tried this. Okay, so then obviously then we have to do the thing and then pass it. And then they have this Rust guide, which is in beta, which is generated by AI. So it may be highly inaccurate. I did not look at this for the HTTP one when I went through that on my own. Is the idea to decompress a given file? I think that it is, but let's find out. So they suggested, let's go back through this again. We're gonna start with blobs. Okay, so then we want to read a blob object. That decompress is probably right. So what does the p command do? So p, pretty print the contents of object based on its type. I'm kind of like curious, like what. That doesn't really help. This is from the actual Git SCM documentation. Let's see, there's plumbing and porcelain. This is from the Git SCM. Okay, so this is from the Git book. I think you have. Okay, Git object. Here we go. Do you have like a -p command here? Here it goes. If you examine your objects directory, you can see that now contains a file for that new content. This is how Git stores the content initially, as a single file per piece of content named the SHA-1 checksum of the content and its header. The subdirectory is named with the first 2 characters of the SHA-1, and a file name is the remaining 38 characters. Once you have content in your object database, you can examine that content with the git cat file command. Is that what they were having us do? Git cat file? Yeah, cat file. This command is sort of a Swiss Army knife for inspecting Git objects. Passing -p to cat file instructs the command to first figure out the type of content, then display it appropriately. Okay, so I kind of want to try this like just normal Git just to understand what we're working with. So down here, I'm going to go ahead and make this full screen. So we just play with this. So we're in the code crafters one. Because I'm interested, if I go into Git and we go into objects, we have a bunch of these. Okay, so there's a bunch of directories with objects in here. I believe that these are what we would then pass in, right? And something like that. So I could do a git cat file -p and then u. Oh, okay, not that. So that's not how to use it. So add the path. Oh, okay. This doesn't say that I need to add the path subdirectory here when I'm using this. Are you sure that this isn't just maybe this is for you're not in the same folder when you ran that though? I was in it. Oh, you're right. Maybe I should be in there. So let's do cd git objects 09. So let's try git cat file 098d. Is that right? Let's just try this again, just to make sure it's not off by like one character. Yeah, not a valid object name. So I don't think that's it. It was a good try. My understanding of this may be more okay. So starting to get an idea. I wonder if let's take this. Let's get a SHA sum. Do I have like a SHA? I have a SHA sum crafters that. Let me try taking this. So git cat file. Okay, so it doesn't like that either. Japfo, hello. How are you doing today? The object SHA1 includes the folder the object is in. So your SHA1 starts with 0909. Oh, it's supposed to be 0909. Oh, you're right. Oh, interesting. Okay. So this would have been git cat file. So let's do git objects. Where am I? Yeah, there should be a git folder here. Oh, there's no tab autocomplete. Oh, that's too bad. 09 so then it would be that followed by this. Maybe it only needs the SHA. Okay, let's try only the SHA. There we go. Okay. So a bunch of interesting stuff. Okay. So that's what we needed. Yeah, so the SHA-1 does not include the actual path, just the additional 09. Yeah, that's interesting. Now I think they actually told me that, and I wasn't paying it. I didn't like grok that right away. I think they mentioned it somewhere in here. Yeah, the subdirectory is named with the first two characters of the SHA-1, And then the file name is the remaining 38 characters. That looks like a cargo lock. Yeah, so I wonder, yeah. Okay, so that's basically, it's a git commit, right? So it's committed and added that as an object. Okay, so it wants me to be able to, we need to implement that command now. So let's go up to our code. So here we have, okay, so if the commit, if the args is in it, I probably eventually want to like move this away to like be a match or something else, and like then function somewhere else that like does this work. Maybe for right now, let's get this to work. I am also not a fan of the auto return there. Let's do here. We'll just do an else if right now. So else if args1, and then we can refactor this after that we get the test passing and we're a little bit happier. Okay, so if args1 is equal to, it was cat-file. Now what's interesting is that it was cat-file, and then we also needed this -p command, which sounds to me like, okay, well now we need to check to see if args2 is the p. So if args2 equals, was it -p? So already this is not looking great. I don't like this structure here, but we can fix that. Okay, so the first job is just to get it working. And then we're gonna take in a hash. Okay, so then we're gonna take in, we want this to exist. So let's just do like let our hash is equal to args3. Now this might be empty, right? Like if I don't pass it anything. So let's start with like just a print line, just to sort of, actually let's do a debug. I just want to see what this hash is. Oh, cannot move out of here. What are you doing? You're moving out. Oh, yeah, I've never been moving out here. Let's see. I don't need to move out. Can I just do an aster? That makes me happier. Okay, so I want to cargo build this. Let's come back over to, this is not a real get. So this'll be fine. We can do a cargo run cat file -p, and then let's add it in this entire thing again. Okay, so we've got our hash. Excellent. Now, of course, that might be empty, right? Like, okay, what happens if I don't pass it anything? If I just say -p, yeah, okay, we get an error. I think so far it's okay with us crashing if it doesn't exist. I could probably do like a get in here and like handle the error. But the exercises I don't think handle that. Like, I think they're just sort of like, hey, just don't worry about that. We're just gonna get this to work. Okay, so we get our hash. What do we want to do with this hash? We want to, well, we know where this is going. we need to open up. So once we have the hash, let's get the first 2 characters of the hash and the rest as the file name. So get the first 2 characters. Okay, so the first 2 characters of the hash are the folder name and the last and the rest are the file name. Okay, so let folder name is going to be equal to, we just want the first 2, right? So we could just do hash, can I get a slice of 0.2, and then the rest of it is going to be let file name is equal to hash 2 ... Can't remember if that gives me to the end or not. The size values are not known for stir. Ooh. Do I have to do this off of a string? Because it doesn't actually know how big that is. So if I like clone you. No, you're still unhappy with that. We just ran into this and I forgot how I'm supposed to deal with that. Let's see. What do I want to do with this? I don't necessarily want to clone it. We can go take a look at what we figured out, how to deal with it. Let's see. So if I get the hash, no, oh right, I could just get a slice of it. I'm not okay. Not taking ownership of it. That's what it was. Okay, so then you are file name. I want hash, and then you need to the end. So I think that means we need to go to the hash.length -1 or to the end. Oh, yeah, that's wrong. I misread the error message. Okay, there we go. So theoretically, yeah, you're right. I didn't see the parentheses for that. I just saw the error and I thought it was the same error up here. I was like, okay, well, read the error message. That would be helpful. All right, so let's debug out folder name and file name. Okay, back down to here. Let's rerun this. Okay, folder name is that 09, and then the rest is 098. Yeah, okay, so that's successful. That's good. Now what I can do is you can commit this, and it doesn't grade you until you push up. So I could do things like git commit, like, you know, got the folder name and file names. So I can save my work as I go. Why did the compile? Okay, yeah. So if I'm not borrowing here, it's trying to get like an actual just stir out as opposed to a string, like as opposed to a reference to someplace else. It doesn't know how big or anything else that this is. I don't remember exactly why, like what the behind the scenes for that. So I don't know if I can fully answer that. more of like, I just want a string slice of this, as opposed like, and I want to leave this here. So like the hash is what we're reading from, as opposed to I want to create a new thing that's all on its own, that's fully owned. So I don't remember, the short answer is I don't remember why for the why it can't like create its own string from that. A str is an unsized type, essentially just a pointer. A string slice includes the length of the reference as well. Excellent. Okay, so that answers the question. Thank you, Japfo. Okay, so we get that debug folder. Okay, so we now have the folder and the file name. The next thing, well, what do we want to do with this? We need to open up the object. So we need to go find that object and open it up. So let's see. It's been a while since we've done any FS type stuff. So if I do FS, now there's open options, there's file. I want access to an open file, to an open file in the system. And so if I read or written to, okay, so we could do file, so okay, file create. I probably want to do file open. Okay, file open, path. So we know that this path, now, should I use the path? Is path a part of the standard, or is that a separate crate? So I think I would need to do something like let folder, like I guess like path. We know that this is going to be in git objects folder name file name. That's what we want. So open that. Sure, we're doing unwrap a lot. That's fine. So this is going to be our object is now equal to this. Okay. Okay, so we have our object. I want to, what do we actually need to do? Do we need to print out the contents? Yeah, print out the binary data that the blob contains. So print out whatever is in there. So in this case, once I have the object, is it just print line that it wants us to do? Oh, and we need to not use a new line at the very end, which I feel like that. I wonder if the file has a new line, and that's why it ends up on a new line down here. Okay, so I want to print out the contents. Object dot, I can get this. What can I do? We can read. Read exact. I don't think I want read at. Okay, we need to go take a look at file because I forget how to use file. Nope, that's Huck Docker. I want. Okay, stop it. Want. Let's go to here. Here. Okay, so from there. Okay, we've opened a file that gives me a result file. Yeah, so I've got a result file. So there's trade. Okay, so we have read. We have two reads. Oh, okay, read for the reference to the file or the file itself. So we just have the file. Read, pull some bytes from the source into the specified buffer, returning how many bytes were read. That will do everything, right? Oh, here, let's do read the string. So that means I need let mute. This is going to be like the content. Create a new string, object, read to string. Oh, do you need to be also mutable? Yeah, object needs to be mutable. And then once we have that, I want to print this out. Now I need to do a print line without a new line at the end. So we'll start with print line. And this is going to be content. Just sort of see what this is. Oh, you have a result that we need to handle. So we're going to handle it in the best way possible and unwrap. Oh yeah, this is probably compressed, isn't it? This is probably not gonna work at all. Yeah. I wonder. This might break my printing a compressed string out might actually break my terminal, won't it? Just print it anyways. Sure, let's let it fly. Let's save you. Let's also okay. About to print compressed data. YOLO. Okay, so then I want to do a cargo run. Yes, okay, stream did not contain valid UTF-8. Okay, so it can't just throw that into, what is it called? I can't just throw this into a string. Rust wins again. Yeah, they're I guess this is runtime yelling at me on it because it was the unwrap that didn't work. The task asked for binary data, but the thing, when we run this ourselves, it prints out the actual like contents of this. It's expected to print out the binary data that the blob contains. Whatever that means. However, okay, so they're recommending that we use the FLATE2 crate to read the compressed files. And you've included it in. So here's the FLATE2 crate. So decompression. We need a decoder. Oh, and then we could do read to string. I guess that, okay, so it reads bytes. Okay, so let's read it to an array of bytes, essentially. So instead of string new, let's do, I guess we'll just do a vec. And then, what is it? It's a vec of U8, I think. Oh, but we can't. Okay, so this is just gonna have to be read to. Yeah, vec of U8 goes in here. Okay, that makes sense. Now U doesn't implement display. Okay, that's fine. So then the next thing is we have these bytes. I want to create the let's put these all together. Let mute. This is going to be the extracted. And you're okay. So I have you be as mute. we're going to need to do this D. So, okay, we need a GZ decoder. So that's from Flate read GZ decoder. Okay, so we need GZ decoder. So let decoder GZ. Okay, so read decoder new, and we pass it the content. Oh, I guess like as bytes is not the same thing then. Okay. I need this to work for is not okay, so read is not implemented for standard IO read is not implemented for U8. Interesting. Okay. Oh, it needs a reference? Is that all? No, it doesn't like that. But it's close. Close. Okay, so we now I think I saw that there's some different new on here. There are some choices that we could have. So compress. Remove that print. 33 more? Sure, let's remove the print. Oh, you think that was causing it? Okay, so do that. Then I want, okay, this is gonna give us a decoder. Okay, so decoder equals, okay, don't do that. GZ decoder. So we have buffer read. So okay, now this takes a vec8. I think I might want a buffer read. Oh, but there's also, okay, just flat to read decoder just also takes in a vec of u8. Okay, so then maybe this is right. So decoder, new, content. So tree bound vec of u8. I read is not satisfied. It's not implemented. Okay, so maybe this would be the reference. Nope, it doesn't like that. As slice instead? Sure, let's try as slice. Ooh, it likes that. Okay, so what does slice do? It gives us, oh, it just gives us a reference of a slice T. Okay. So that's what it wants. Okay, okay. So that gives us this D. Now I want to read to string and hand it a new string. So we have the extracted content like that. All right, so. Oh, also the order here is really important. This needs to go after you. Okay, so basically we read the object into the content. Then we want to read, so decoder, read to string with the extracted content. Unwrap you. Decoder needs to be mutable. And then we can print this. So we can do a print line now. We know that this is not the right way to do this because it told us, hey, this is gonna like add in an extra new line at the end, but let's not worry about that right this second. Let's just go ahead and see if we can get the extracted content variable. Now we know exactly what we're expecting to get out of this. So if I do this as from get cat file. With that, this is what we get. And then I want to do the cargo run cat file. Invalid gzip header. Okay. I think it told us. What are these? Are they gzip? No, they're using zlib. I need to tell Flate2 to use zlib. Do I need the zlib decoder instead? Oh yeah, because that gzip decoder, that makes sense. So zlib decoder, that's what it is. So I want this instead. Let's find out. And cargo run. We got it. Okay. And now notice we do have an extra line here at the bottom. So this is not, we're not there yet. Let's go ahead and save what we got. Okay, so this one we have main. What do we do? So we are decoding and printing out the what is it called? We're decoding and printing out the object, but we need to do it with a new line. Print line. I don't think we can use print line, but there's some other systems that we can use that will help us not use a new line, or we have to find like what we can do with print. Now I think there's equivalent to the print line macro, except that a new line is not printed at the end of the message. So we just want the print macro. That's it. That's as simple. Just want that. Well, okay. That was a git commit. I wanted this one. There we go. Okay. Excellent. Now, as soon as we pass the test, it moves us on to the next thing. So I kind of want to break these out into their own files now, because if we do like another challenge with this is gonna suck. And I have a little bit of time before the end of the stream today, so let's break this out. And I kind of want, let's see, I think using a match on this is going to be better. And then I want maybe files. So let's do a new file. We want a source. Let's create like a lib.rs. In here, we are going to want another thing that's going to hold. So I'm okay with having like the match on here. That's going to like figure out what the arg is going to be. And then lib can maybe like just be a hub that like brings in the other modules, essentially, like the init module. So we want a new, and we'll just call this init.rs. Go to our lib, we'll do a pub mod init. You're not used in the tree yet, so I probably have to do a use. What is this called? This is called build. Okay, so let's go find. Oh, get starter rust. Does that mean everything becomes lower snake case? It's like get started rust. Let's just copy that. Yeah, so here, that's how I can bring in init with that. Let's start with pulling this out here. Going to init, and we're gonna do a pub function init. And that's just what this does. So, okay. Let's go back to main, and we'll start by now calling init like that. Okay. Now this is gonna be interesting. So this is what you're talking about. So we don't have to do this like if, like double if in here, right? Because like we have cat file, and then we also need to know like what the next argument is. If we switched over to using an actual CLI parsing tool, this would probably make this a lot easier. Okay, so let's first start by just taking this, and we'll throw this into, yeah, let me just yank in case I lose it. So new file, we're gonna write this to, this is, what is that called? We have objects. Oh, so it's cat file. So we have write cat file .rs. I don't know why that can't find it. I probably need to restart the LRS. Okay, so in here we want to do a pub function. Okay, so in cat file we have what is the actual p command? What is that really called? That's pretty print the contents of the object. Okay, so pretty print. So pretty print all right, so pub function pretty print, we get all these things done. Now we need the, okay, so what I do need is this args3. So I do need the hash, which is going to be, I guess in this case we'll just make it a string that we're passing in, so we don't need that anymore, which is gonna be fine. Then here in main, we're gonna get the hash, and we're gonna call pretty print from here. Okay, so use get starter Rust. I want cat file. Pretty print. Come on. Okay, now you're happy. It's like kind of helping me. Pretty print, and then pass it in the hash. Okay, so I mean, main looks a lot better now. So that's good. Then, okay, so we uncommon first stage. Okay, so args vex string, we do that. If args one in it. Okay, so now to make this look a little bit nicer, what I would love to do is we're going to match on args1 match our type string is not empty. What? So I want, because like what do you give me? You give me, oh, vec of string. So I want as stir. Okay, so if for the first one, if you're in it, I then want to call init, and that's it. If you are cat file, now I don't think I could do something like cat file space, right? Because that is literally a second argument here, and all I have is cat file. So we have to do cat file, and then I have to check the next one. So it kind of sucks. So now we have to do this. There. And then we have this else, and then we're going to just do that. So in this case, everything else becomes a print that. Maybe cat file if args2 equals -p. Oh, yeah. Let's try that. I don't really use those like the more advanced match stuff too often. So let's try this. Cat file. Well, okay. Before I do that, let's just double check that this still works the way we expect it to, right? So I want to cargo run cat file, do this. File not found for module cat file. Okay, well that's clearly a problem. Do I save everything? It doesn't like cat file here. Yeah, I put cat file outside of source. That's not the correct place. Okay, hold on. Let's go to cat file, close the buffer, move cat file to source. Let's try this again. Okay, still some errors. In lib, okay, pubmod init. Oh yeah, we need to bring those in now. All right, let's first restart our LSP because it's really unhappy. Would definitely just make the whole cat file function that passes the args onto the rest. Oh, that would probably be a good idea. We have a cat file and then we just pass the rest of the args in. That would work. Unresolved, I can't find module file init.rs. Did I do the same problem here? Yeah, init is outside of here too, so silly me. Let's go to init, buffer close, move init to source, LSP, we'll restart you. Okay, let's head into init. You have some problems here. So first of all, it needs to know fs. That's probably it. Okay, let's try this again. In cat file, okay, we need to know. In cat file, we need fs. And then I also need this thing. So import you from read. Okay. In cat file line 18. I need decoder, read string, import that. Okay. Init, not a function. Why is that not a function? Apparently, let's see, okay, main. Oh, init module. So then init function. Okay, there we go. Unresolved imports. Cannot find init. Are you sure? No, you're not sure. You're just You're just REST analyzer having trouble with like things. Okay, so this is working. We can come back to here. Okay, so the idea was that we could maybe pass in everything else into cat file. So we'd probably want like a cat file and then pass in those other things. That's probably a good idea. So basically say, okay, we just do cat file and then we call cat file and we pass it in args2 essentially. So that works. If I go to cat file, so we want a pub function cat file, then we just take in the args, which is a vec of string, but it's not really a vec of string, is it? We're gonna do a string slice, aren't we? So we're gonna do string. Would it be a stir? This doesn't seem right. I don't like it. Let me double check. So if I do cat file, ooh, why did you go away? Let's do cat file. So instead of pretty print like this, we're going to call cat file and hand it a slice of what is it, args, and I want 2 and onward. Oh, extra one right there. Okay, you're okay. You're not okay up here, which I don't understand. Unresolved imports, which is like just being silly because like it's clearly working. Okay, so then we go back to cat file, so we get this here, so it knows what that is, and then we're going to call, so I probably should have kept what this is, so we're gonna do if args of 0, so this one, if that is as stir, if that is equal to -p, then I want to pretty print, so we're just gonna do pretty print, and we need the hash, so that would be the next one. So let our hash is gonna be equal to args of 1. We'll clone you out and pass in the hash. We don't ever actually need to own the hash here, so this could be a stir, which means that this would be args of 1 as stir. Okay, unresolved imports, syntax error. Yes, you need a comma. Just the unresolved imports. Okay, so if I make sure everything is saved, we run this again, you're all good. Yeah, let's see. So we're gonna do a git add. So we're gonna do a git commit. Okay, Let's see if this works. Test failed. No. Okay. Is it because we have a bunch of warnings? I have a bunch of warnings in here. That's not helpful. Compilation successful. Okay, so it's successfully compiled it. Running tester stage 2. Read a blob object. Got logs from your program will appear here. New line blob. Humpty Dumpty. Okay. Test failed. Try. Okay, so we're gonna have to start with this one next time to sort of see what's going on with this. Yeah, we have a bunch of unused imports because of the move around, but unfortunately I'm out of time, so I can't actually fix those right now. We'll have to fix that tomorrow morning. All right. If I remember correctly, we didn't manage to get it working yesterday, but they said that we could do something with this codecrafter's YAML file to give us the proper feedback, and then that would let us know. Let's take a look at this codecrafter's YAML file. Okay, so set this to be true if you want. Yeah, so let's do true. And setting debug to be true. Okay, expected vanilla horsey Humpty Scooby vanilla Scooby as standard out. Got logs from your program will appear here. Oh, and blob vanilla horsey. Okay, so it got. Okay, so we got logs from your program will appear here. Oh, was I not? Okay, I think I'm supposed to remove the logs there. That might be what it is. So first of all, I want to remove the warnings that we have, and then I think that we need to get rid of these because I think that was sort of breaking it a little bit. You're still yelling at me about unresolved imports, which I don't really understand why, because it clearly works. This feels more like a Rust analyzer type thing. Okay, do I have any print line? Unknown command. Okay, and that in it. So let's try this. And then I think, yeah, we'll just I'll leave it. Okay, so this is what is it going to be called? It's removed extra print. And let's try this out. Oh, interesting. It reset back to not showing me what's going on. Okay, so your program. Blob 40 Nilla Humpty Dumpty as standard out got. Okay, so it expected that, but it got blob 40. Oh, it wanted. That's interesting. What's the difference between these two? So we have blob 40. So there's this. Now that looks like something else. It tried, okay, so it ran. Can I run this myself? Not really? Okay, how about I run just normal git? Oh, it's not a valid object name, that's why. It's a valid object name on their side. So that makes it a little bit rougher. Okay, so now they expected blob and we gave them blob. They expected 40 and we gave them 40. They wanted this Nilla and we gave them 00 donkey. Donkey yikes yikes. That seems wrong. Okay, so from what I understand, the first two characters of this are supposed to be the folder name. So we don't really have one, but we can go searching for one again. So if we head back to in.get, we have these objects. And then here's one, like FD. Well, I wonder if it's going to be different for each of us. They have, I wonder if these are actually applying hooks or they're just samples. So I don't think they're actually doing anything. And I don't think they put anything special in here of like for that message that's committed. So I do think that it's a message they did. That's too bad. Okay, so let's do this FD. Okay, so I want a cat file and then let's do, okay, so -p, we want FD and then that. Okay, so that was my object. Okay, the first commit essentially, and then I want to do mine too. So I want to do a target get started rest cat file that. Is there, oh, look at that. Okay, so we do this out and we get, okay, so use standard via use standard, use that, and then in the middle of this, logs from program apply here. Did I not build this again? Let's try that again. Okay, there it is. The very first part of this, you got this blob 1249. What's that? Is that part of Everything else I think is the same though, right? Is there anything else that's weird in here? I don't think so. We have this blob 1249. I think that here's my guess. I think that this is due to zlib decoder. Or am I supposed to like ignore the first few bytes? So I do the read to string. Okay, so I do that. I read to string. And then I print it out, but we get that blob thing in there. And then I'm just print that. Then it'll just print, give me a blob. Oh, okay. So I might need to lock it. The print macro, okay, so what if we do this instead? What if we lock standard out and then we use the write macro instead? So what was that? That was let lock equals standard standard.io. Was it? Oh, standard out lock. Is just that it? I get that thing? Oh, standard out dot lock. Okay. So it's okay, standard IO, standard out dot lock. Okay, so standard IO, standard out. Okay, lock. We switch you to the write macro. We hand it lock. And then that. Okay, we can try you instead. Let's see how this works. We do need to, okay, cargo run. Let's hand it this file. Oh, method not cannot write into standard out lock. Okay, so it doesn't like that. Am I missing a trait? Oh, yeah, we need to add this use in here. Wait a second. Nope, I saw an error. Was this an error? You're an error. Cannot mutate. Okay, so you need to be mutated. Okay. Let's try this again. The name right is defined multiple times. Okay, so I've accidentally... Okay, so we want format right? Or I wonder... Okay. I want to... That's probably the wrong right. I'm missing a use of that right? You're not really... That doesn't feel like what I want. We need to go look at right in documentation. So what is it? Docs. Specifically, okay, so they were... Okay, we were looking at the print macro. And, okay, they were saying, okay, print's the standard output, which sounds exactly right. Equivalent to that. The print macro will lock the standard output on each call. Okay, so what if I go back to print, and then we might have to do this. So IO standard out, flush. So let's go back to print. And then IO standard out, flush. And see what that does for us. Guess we'll open up. Okay, that worked. Now I'm still getting this blob though. That's not helpful. Okay, so we're still getting that blob. Now, if the print is not the problem, which, I mean, it might be the problem, it might not be. It could also be this zlib decoder, which we're getting from Flate 2. So let's go check out Flate. And we are using specifically the zlib decoder from read. Now, that will give us, okay, so when we create a new, that gives us this zlib decoder, implements a read instance. I want to read to string. If successful, this function returns the number of bytes which were read and appended to buffer. So that's it's trying to be very similar to like the standard FS read to strings. That makes sense. But I'm not seeing anything here where it's gonna like add in that blob. like whatever that is. I don't want to just try to handle that by removing it because I don't really understand what it is. What we can do is we can, okay, let's see if there's like something about that in the docs here. Wait, where's my... Okay, there we go. I want to go to our repo, including everything that's been closed, and I want to look for something that says blob. I want to see if somebody says like, hey, there's a blob in here. I'm not seeing anybody yell about that. Okay, well, I was hoping... Okay, let's read through this again, because maybe it'll tell us that, like, hey, also... Let's read some code examples. So these are other students, I believe, that have gone through this. So which I think that's pretty cool. So I want to see, can we find where they're doing the zlib? They have everything in one file. Here's their cat file. So they're doing the same thing where they're sort of joining to get the object path. They're handling errors properly. Okay, they create their buffer. They're not... Wait, are they not using... I don't think they're using the thing to read it. I don't know if that's right. I want to look at one where they have... Okay, so here's zlib decoder that they're using. Okay, so we have cat file. They're all the different ways of sort of like splitting up what that looks like. Now, that's interesting. Okay, so they read into the string, and then they're splitting that string at this, which is, I believe, that blob, and then doing that. Okay. Then this might just be in there always. This does feel like it's at the beginning. It's at the beginning here, which would probably be you. So if I were to... Here, let's just try what they're doing. They're splitting at this x00. So here's our decoder. Read the okay. We read the string. We get the extracted content. Okay, so we have that there. Then I want to split extracted content. Now split, that returns, right? It returns an, oh, it returns a split. An iterator over this. So I want probably the second one. So let our, I mean, essentially it's a split here. I want to get, essentially skip 2 of them and then print out the last one. What can I do with split? I haven't really used split very much. We can get the last, which gives me, okay. Let's let, so if I just do that, and then we just print that out, okay, what happens then? Ooh, no more blob. Okay, so I think that's working. I kind of want to know where should we have seen that? I feel like in one of these things it would tell us the blob that it's going to have that in there, and I just didn't look at it. Yeah, so we have like blob. That doesn't really tell you to remove the blob here, doesn't it? It just has that. It said the string blob, the header will begin with comment with commit or tree. Okay, no, that's something else. There's the plumbing commands. That doesn't really give me what I think that it wants. Okay, the get cat file. That preprints the object. Okay, I believe this is gonna work though. I'm not sure how I would find that specifically in here. Without looking at the other things. Now in this, okay, so in the AI code here, interesting. So yeah, none of this talks about this blob object. I just saw it in being handled in another learner's code example. That's really interesting. I wonder how I'd find that. Oh, look at that. Want to run tests without installer CLI. Okay, I might do that before next stream. All right, so let's get started with this. I didn't have any law. I do have a in cat file in flush. We have to unwrap you. I'm just doing unwraps here until they become a problem. Like if we run into an issue where it starts crashing because like they're handing us bad stuff, I'll start actually doing proper error handling. Okay. It's maybe working. Let's find out. Tests are passing. Excellent. Okay. So we are good to go. Oh, okay. So we've read a blob object. We're on to the next one.